Okay, class, this is a quick overview on the color wheel and basic color properties, how we designate areas of the color wheel into color schemes and harmonies. And also how to use your color wheel for better mixing, whether you're seeking secondary colors or trying to understand how to get true neutrals through complementary use. So we're just going to do a quick overview of the color wheel, which will help you navigate your colors for the rest of the semester. So let's just start with the basic color wheel. According to Isaac Newton, we have 7 wavelengths that we can separate, right? So we have Roy G. Biv. We have red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. And the reason that we have a blue and an indigo is because they have found boundaries in those wavelengths. There are definite differences between an indigo wavelength and a blue, okay? So we have taken that knowledge from Isaac Newton, and over the years we've created many color wheels. And here's one that can help you. And remember, this is just an abstraction. This is not how color occurs in nature. We assign the colors into this configuration in order to better understand. So in the center, we have the primary color set for pigment, not for light, but for pigment. We have red, yellow, and blue. These colors, when they come together, are a subtractive primary color set, meaning they subtract each other's nature away. They remove their strength and they create neutrals, which is another way of saying browns and darks and blacks. You never get a true black, but what you do get is a canceling out of all of their hues into something that's less identifiable. So it's really important to know your primary colors. What else is important about your primary colors is they can't be mixed. You cannot mix a red. You have to buy it. You cannot mix a yellow. You have to create it with the correct minerals, or you have to buy it, and then you cannot create a blue. So with the primary colors, you can actually create your secondaries, which is why they're called their secondary colors. These can be made through the primaries. So we have yellow and blue making the green over here, and yellow and red over here turning into the orange, and at the base of the triangle we have the red and the blue creating our violets. Now this center pyramid points out to the tertiary colors. So we have primary, secondary, and tertiary on the outer rings. Tertiary means third generation. So this is the not just a primary or just a secondary. It typically is designated by the moniker of the primary and a secondary together, meaning you get a violet blue, right? You get a red orange. You get a yellow green. So these, if you have 2 names in the color, it is a tertiary color. It's a third generation color. So that's the first 3 ways that we break up color. So another way we can break up color is to go to Michael Wilcox's color wheel, which talks about color biases. So the first color wheel gives us the spectrum in relationship to each other. And this color wheel helps, especially the artist and designer, identify the different types of hues. There is not a single yellow, there is not a single blue, there is not a single red. Every primary color has 2 temperatures. You typically have a cool version of that color and a warm version of that color. And one leans into one side of the wheel and the other one leans into the other. So what I mean by that is if you were ever in primary school and your art teacher gave you a yellow and a blue and said that it should make green, but what it made was this sort of awful dark neutralized green, it didn't have the vibrancy that you were seeking, it's probably because you chose the wrong blue and the wrong yellow. You have to choose closest to one another on the wheel in order to get to the quality of the green you're seeking. So in this way, if you grabbed your cadmium yellow light, it's slightly closer to the green on the color wheel, and your cerulean or cyan blue instead of your ultramarine or cobalt, you're going to get a truer, more saturated green because these colors are closer to each other, to the green. So you're going to get a better color. Now here you'll get a type of green, but it's very neutralized because it's not the correct yellow and green. This yellow has too much orange in it, and this blue has too much violet in it, and they're actually canceling each other out because you're getting closer to complement, and you're getting a neutral. Same with the orange. You want the orange-leaning yellow, the cadmium medium, and you want cadmium red, not alizarin crimson, to make an orange. Okay? Not to say that you won't get a type of orange using the other red and the other yellow. It's just not the same intensity or brilliance that you might have been seeking. And that can be really frustrating as a designer or artist if you keep thinking that you are trying to mix for a type of green that you're not achieving. So the same here, please be aware of like grabbing your alizarin crimson and your ultramarine maybe, or cobalt or processed blue to make your violet. Once again, you can choose cadmium red and cerulean blue, but you're moving very close to complementary here. So you're getting more of a neutral, and it's not the violet that you're really seeking out. So sometimes if you can't get a violet, mess around with getting a different kind of blue. So this is why I have you guys buying 2 sets of every color. You have the cool red and the warm red. You have a cooler blue and a slightly warmer blue. And then the yellows don't matter as much, but if you're not getting the quality green you want, cadmium light will work better. So those are your biases in color. Now in digital printing, when you guys need to print from your computer, you're going to choose CMYK. And it's just an acronym for cyan, which is a kind of cerulean or processed blue, magenta, which is a type of alizarin crimson, permanent rose, rose madder, or magenta process. Those are all different names for a very similar hue. Y is for yellow, and then in printing we need a black cartridge because, as I've stated earlier, when the primaries come together they don't actually make black, they make a dark neutral. So in order to get black we need an achromatic black added to that set. Okay, so that's why we use CMYK as our primary printing from a digital source. Let's then go to just a quick explanation of color schemes. So here is our color wheel again, and we have our primary colors highlighted with the secondary and tertiary sitting behind. This color wheel will help you navigate these color schemes, okay? Primary color scheme, which is not listed here, because it is essentially segregated in your color wheel, is red, yellow, blue. So this is a triangle. So whenever you're using your color wheel, if you've bought a color wheel, a perfect triangle is a primary color scheme. And the reason that that's important is because you can turn this triangle and you'll get a different set of 3 colors that are separated equally on the color wheel. And if you adjust it just right, you'll get all the secondary colors, and if you adjust it again, you'll get a set of tertiary colors. So that triangle or that shape can really help you navigate the color wheel. let's then go to analogous color. So your analogous color scheme is a wedge. So here is an analogous color scheme. And what that means is that these colors are all alike along one side of the color wheel. And it has to be a wedge. If it goes completely half, you're going to hit complementary colors, okay? So you have to stay short of that. If you're starting with green, an analogous color set can go all the way over to a purple, but once it hits over here, you're hitting a complementary color scheme because you've gone for the entire half of the wheel. So an analogous color scheme is at least 3 colors all along the side of a wheel. So analogous means like or like-minded. So think about colors that are all in the same group. That would be analogous. And you take this wedge shape and rotate it anywhere around this color wheel and you'll get a different set of analogous color schemes. So we could be in the warms, we could be a cool set, we could be this sort of pink to purple set. So the analogous color scheme is any wedge shape on the color wheel. The very important set of colors that you need to know are the complements. And the thing that I need you to come away with is when you think of one of the colors of the complementary pairs, you should always think of the other. And they're always a bow tie shape. So let me show you. Right here is the red-green complement. And that's what I mean about being a bow tie shape. So once you get the bow tie shape, you can rotate this around and get any complementary set. And you'll get a true complement, meaning you need this red and this green in order to get a true neutral in the middle. We can shift over to the alizarin crimson, but then you need to shift on the other side slightly more yellow, because this is a purple red, that is a yellow green. Purple and yellow are a complement, and yellow and green and red are complements. That's how you know that it's a true complement. So your color wheel can really help you if you're not achieving a true neutral, or when you put 2 complementary colors together, they intensify each other. They make each other appear more vibrant. So if you want a purple to look more purple, surround it by yellow. If you want a green to look more green, surround it by its true complement that is red. And if you want a blue to appear more blue, then surround it by its complement, which is orange. So you really need to memorize your complementary colors immediately. Because if you're mixing these two, you're going to get neutrals, and if it's not what your intention is, you're going to be confused. And if you're trying to manipulate a color, complements are really the best, meaning I can really make a slightly orange color feel even more orange if I surround it with the right kind of blue. So your complements are really useful bits of information for color manipulation. And then what I'll end with is just a quick explanation of split complements and achromatic. Split complement just means instead of getting, let's say, this purple to this exact yellow, we're going to split it. So if purple is my intention, then what I'll get on a split complementary color scheme is the split between the opposite. So if purple is my dominant color I'm trying to split on, then I'm on this side of the yellow and on this side of the yellow. So that means I get a yellow-green and an orange-yellow opposite of the violet. And that is a split complement. And that Y shape can be rotated around the entire color scheme to get any split complement, okay? So that's a good explanation of your overview of your colors. And we'll do a different PowerPoint on understanding achromatic colors and neutrals. Okay.